Hi, my name is Charles, and I live at Wolf House.
Hi, I'm Christina, and I live in Hoyt.
Hi, I'm Emery, and I live in Kingman.
Hey, I'm Liz. I'm a Stevenite.
I'm Diego. I just graduated.
Hi, I'm Nicola. I'm going to be the house manager at Kingman in fall.
Hey, I'm Yannick. I used to live in Stebbins for 3 years. My last summer I lived at Davis House in the summer, and it's one of the best experiences of my life to live in the co-ops.
Well, I think you should bring an open mind. Things aren't going to be as clean as, like, say, living in a dorm, but it's going to be a lot more relaxed and a lot more fun.
I would bring as little as possible. You can create your own life in the co-ops. Just bring, bedding for the bed you have.
When I first moved in, this was like the 5th co-op I moved into, ever. So like I kind of knew the drill. I looked for the house manager first. She was really, really friendly right away.
You should bring a willingness to do your work shift and kind of start to care about the house and get to know the people that you're going to live with, because it's kind of your own community that you're forming here at Berkeley, and it can really kind of make your experience more worthwhile.
I don't know, you might move into the co-ops thinking that it just functions simply like people loving each other and people partying and people having a good time. But the reality is that a true co-op has a lot of work shifts going on. Everyone's doing 5 hours of work shift, and that's how the house survives.
So when I came into the co-ops, I was a sophomore. I didn't really know how to cook. Because of freshman year, I did the dorm food thing. It was very easy to get fast food. When I got into the co-ops, though, you'll notice that everybody around you is cooking a lot. And so, while intimidated at first, I started getting into, making basic stir fries, basic things using the oven and the stove, and after about a year, I started cooking for the house.
You can also do things in the main office of the main co-op, so you can be like filing papers, or you can have a position where you're a manager, a social manager, a hot tub manager, a house manager, anything like that.
Work shift is something to not be scared of, but it's something to take seriously as a part of your co-op experience.
Okay, well, first of all, every semester that you live in the co-ops, you get points, right? And people with the most points get to bid for their rooms first.
For every semester that you're in the co-ops, you'll get 1 point, and for every summer, it's 0.75 points. So, for example, here at Kingman, we just had our room bids, and people with 3 points got a single, people with less couldn't get a single. So it just kind of depends on the house. There are room tours beforehand, so you know what the rooms look like.
It usually takes about a semester or two to get a single, so for me it took me a semester. So this semester I have my own bedroom.
It's more important just finding a house that you like the general idea of, and the room is like the least important aspect of it because you have such a larger community. So I spend very little. Actually, I spend quite a bit of my time in my room these days, but you can spend as much time as you want, and the common space is just a wonderful place to hang out with other people, but I don't even think about it anymore.
I got a double, and I'm upset.
I still don't understand how roommates work. Oh my god, it's so I don't understand. Like in Cologne, it was like you got a card, but then if it was like a spade, it was like something else. And if you got a jacket, I didn't understand it at all.
I've lived in houses where we drew cards, for example. And you know what? It's kind of fun because it kind of forces you to like really make friends in those first couple of weeks where you're kind of temporarily roomed, so that you can kind of get an idea about who you might want to live with. So it's not a terrible process, but it's incentive to get to know people better, and get to know the house better, explore the rooms, and really figure out what situation might make you the happiest. All of the food in the co-ops come from the central kitchen, and the central kitchen orders all of the food from various farms and various places around the Bay Area. It's all local. All the produce is organic.
Your kitchen manager and the house at the beginning of the semester send out a food preference survey and kind of help set up what food's going to be available. So if you have like problems with gluten or whatever, you can make that preference known, and the kitchen manager will be able to make sure there are things available for you. Or if you're vegetarian, usually there's always a vegetarian protein option, so you don't really have to worry about that. Dinners are provided, and breakfast is really easy. So if you want to make lunch, that's the thing that you're going to learn how to cook at.
Every night, someone is here to make a meal for you, so you really don't have to worry too much about cooking, but there's enough food to do that too.
I'm eating a pop somebody else made me, and each house sort of has its own flavor, if you want to use a metaphor.
I'm always the one who requests American cheese, and then the kitchen manager gets mad at me because she thinks that's trash. But she gets it for me anyway because she knows me and a lot of other people enjoy it. So it's pretty cool. You get to eat what you want.
And it's a place where you can kind of experiment. Have you ever wanted to make a pie? Maybe a cake? Maybe a truffle? You can try in the co-ops. And if it doesn't work out well, you can pretend it never happened.
I've had a lot of favorite co-op moments. So there's someone in our house who teaches yoga, and a couple weeks ago in the living room there were like 12 of us, and she was like, yeah, I'm going to teach you yoga. And so we were just doing yoga in our living room, and it was beautiful, and she was like able to personalize it for us, and he was like, oh, listen to Jenny Craig's bubbles in her fish tank, and just really like, that's the kind of peaceful, strong environment that I've had here.
When I first moved into this house, a bunch of us gathered in the living room because there was a blackout. And this guy Diego, who's like a good friend of mine, was kind of running around. He was like, who wants to sit by the fire and have a deep ass conversation? And then a bunch of people came, and then we all sat around, and then the conversation kind of evolved into, we constructed a life by having everyone tell what happened during a certain year of schooling. So for example, I told about what happened to me in 5th grade, because that was like one of my favorite grades in life. And then different people said like 6th grade, 7th grade. And then in that way we all kind of got to know each other in this really fun way, and in the process we constructed a fake person's identity.
We had special dinner, and our theme was James Bond is in Bollywood. So we had girls brought their boyfriends and guy friends, and they're all dressed up in their nice suits, and the girls got in their nice dresses of like black and gold.
You just get really intimate with people that you wouldn't normally meet, and I think it's really an eye-opening experience just in terms of like normal human relations. It shows you a lot of like your own biases, because you get to know people that really surprise you all the time.
Going downstairs, say you have to study for a final, or say you're up, for whatever reason, and it's like 3 in the morning, 3:30, and you're downstairs, and there's maybe only one other person in the kitchen or one other person in the dining room, and you're not necessarily good friends with them yet. I mean, you're in a house of 60 people. You're still trying to get to know everybody, and all of a sudden you start this conversation because, for whatever reason, both of you have crossed paths at 3:30 in the morning, and pretty soon, before you know it, you're getting into this really deep conversation with this person, and you're starting to learn all these things that you've never thought about in your entire life. Because when you live in a house with 60 people, people come from all different walks of life, all different beliefs and philosophies, and pretty soon it's 6 in the morning, you've sort of opened up to this person, they've opened up to you, and you're understanding this entirely new world, and it happens a lot.
I think the best part of the co-ops is some of the friendships that you make. The building a community that you can actually believe in, where you guys are there for each other, and you guys have each other's back in the good times and the bad times, and you guys are really invested in each other's experience. I came in first just eager for the social atmosphere, and later really developed as a person through different kinds of work shifts that I did. But with the friends that I really cared for and developed, I think those are the things that also I'll be left with for a long time to come.